Hi, welcome back to Scotty Does Stuff. Today we're going to be installing 3-point seat belts into a 1968 Camaro because they didn't do that back in the day. Well, sort of they did. So what's in the car now, bring you in here, are the original shoulder belts, and then you can't really see, this is a bench seat car, so it has the original 3-point system that came with it. And what this is it's really just two separate seat belts. One would go across your lap and one that would go up to that contraption. So let's walk you around the car here and I'll show you what that looks like on the passenger side. I've already done the driver's side, so that way you guys don't have to watch me flail. So this seat belt is from literally 1968. Somewhere on here there's a date code, yeah, right there. And it's more clear on the other ones, but this is a 1968. Okay, sort of a way back angle on this. It's not that big of a deal to remove bolts, and I don't think you guys need to see the up close of a bolt getting removed, but it's really pretty simple. Not much to these. I suppose I could have grabbed an impact to get this out, but old car, I don't like to hit everything with the impact. Even if it saves a little time, it's not necessarily worth it. Alright, one down. First things first, this is good news. The other side was pretty badly galled. This is in good shape. But we're not going to be reusing that hardware, but you don't want to pull something out and find out that it was cross-threaded or something else that leads to problems. So, alright, so this one is missing the actual buckle, but the way this would have worked back in the day is that you would have dragged this shoulder belt across your belly, your chest, and then buckled it in this way, and then you would have had a separate buckle, which is still in the car. What a pain that was. We'll cut some of that out, undoubtedly. Oh darn, looks like it ripped the label off. Wanted to show you guys the 1968, oh there it is. So this little label that tore off, not sure how well you'll be able to see that in this light, but 1968 Irving model number 237. That's pretty cool. I'm going to keep that. And let's put that over on the driver's side for now. Okay, so that's one out. Let's get the next. The male side coming out. Correction, the male side coming out. Huh. But someone, whoever installed this prior to me, did it with a wrench. And until I get it loose, there's not going to be a way to get that started with that. Okay, so stand by, grabbing tools. All right, let's see if we can get this started out of here now. So it turns out the interior was replaced in this car in the 1980s. I found that out when I recently went in for an estimate to have the paint done, and I talked to their friends over at the interior shop, and it turns out not original. Just kind of, oh, that's just loose in there. Well, sorry, this part pivots. It's not loose. The bolt seems to be okay. Yep, got it. Nice. Alright, a little rusty there, not galled or anything, but maybe That's not bad. There's all the new bolts will be getting a little coat of anti-seize before they go back in. Before they go in, I guess they weren't out, so they won't be going back. Anyway, that'll happen. So yeah, there's your original reel. That's gonna go away. I've also got rears, 3 points for the rears, but those are gonna be a while because it takes a second person, and I don't have anybody lined up for that today, so not going to be that big of a deal. All right, so let me grab the anti-seize and then we'll get this other side in. So the directions say your 3 steps are: step 1, bolt in the big reel over here; step 2, bolt in the top part over here; and step 3, bolt in that. But we're going to go step 3 first, just because it's easier right now. There's nothing in the way. There's not a cross-hanging piece, so hopefully it's not too bright for the camera. I do believe in torquing. Not torquing, not She-Hulk. Alright, so first things first. Okay. Interior detail complete. First, I'll take care of that later. First things first. So on the driver's side, this piece was just kind of draped down along here, but it seems like it might actually be better to follow the previous run and kind of down the middle, like. Maybe not. Let's also, I don't know if it's upside down or something. No, that's correct. So that's with the seat all the way forward. So all the way back will give you more room, which will be good. Okay, so like that. That'll just go on there like that. The one thing about the driver's side is that these buckles are universal, so the ends face the same way both times. So on the driver's side, that sits like that, so that your buckle's not upside down on that side. So it sits a little different, and on this side it sits nice and flush. Not sure if that's a Morris Customs thing or if that's like a factory thing that they're copying, but that's the only gripe I have about this entire kit, is it's like that, flush here on this side and then flipped on the other side if you want the buckles up, or in a way that you can reach it with your thumbs, because you kind of see over here, got that like that, but then you know you want to be able to reach down and click, push, click, etc. And if you don't know how a seatbelt operates, don't know what to say, because they're kind of everywhere, at least in the US. I think everywhere I've been in Europe was the same, and in Holland was the same, and I feel like they had seatbelts in South America too. Maybe there's parts of the world that I haven't been to that don't have seatbelts, never heard of them. Maybe you're there now. Maybe you're like, this crazy man, he should just be using lap belts. So let's cover that while I attempt to not cover everything in anti-seize today. Bottom line for this is that lap belts are old technology. They go across your belly, and then if you get in an accident, you're going to flip forward, you're going to eat whatever's in front of you. If you're in the back, you're going to eat the back seat. If you're in the front, you're going to eat the headliner. You're going to eat the steering wheel, or you're going to eat the dash pad. It's not good. A lot of ways to die there. And you can read all kinds of studies about this that were done back in the 60s and 70s when they started coming up with 3-point belts. And effectively what they came up with was the 3-point belt. Just double checking some things. Yeah, I don't know, nothing about the way I've got this seems right, so we might do that right now. Because on the other seat it slips down sort of along this vector here, and that seems better than what it's doing here. Like I said, the interior wasn't original, so I don't really have a guide on how these things were supposed to have gone, but I feel like the way that this is going in right now is not going to be the best. Always keep something handy to put your anti-seize bolts on, especially if you're working in the interior. Pro tip, absolute mess if you don't. And you don't want to be trying to get anti-seize out of your seats. Or maybe you do. Maybe you're really into that. Who could say? Yeah, I think I like that better. A little better. Maybe a skosh better. Yep, okay, and see, yeah. That is this length. Oh, it's fine. Oh, that's cold. So, okay, there we go. And yeah, that way it's sitting the same as the driver's side. And no, you can't reverse them. I tried both and it didn't work out. So that's the correct routing. At least better routing. I think the other way would pull too down and not be good. So if it turns out it's wrong, let me know in the comments and I will try to cite some kind of reference. There's probably a page in the body manual that I missed on bench seat installation. Alright, so the instructions are super good. Just to let you know, this is a 5/16 Allen head, and I'm just using a socket on this because I like it to go a little quicker. I keep there's a notch here in the interior stuff that's been welded in over time, and I want to keep that the same, close. But you don't want to put too much strain on the seat belt. So maybe you want it a little more like that angle. Either way, probably fine. There's more about angles that we'll be learning later. Torque specs on this, which I got from CamaroResearch.org, are it's a pretty wide range, 24 to 45 foot-pounds for this bolt and this bolt over here. And then at the top it's 12 to 18 foot-pounds. So you get this pretty close. Had some trouble on the other side because the threads were galled out. This feels way better. But I did get the other side to 28 pounds, and then I decided, well, I guess no, sorry, 32, and I decided I would stop because of small increments and whatever else. Alright, so let's go ahead and I like to do step torques when I've run into trouble on things, just because step torque is fine. Yeah, it doesn't takes a little more time, but this is 10 pounds. Easy 10 pounds. Now we're way past that, so let's go ahead and go up to 25. And right there, 25. Yeah, that doesn't feel good. No, that's it. There it is. Yeah. Oh, that was 35. Well, that's in there. We're good now, that's for sure. Alright, cool. And the anti-seize will keep that from sticking in there forever. Okay, moving on. So the next part of this we're going to do is this side, because, and you're probably thinking, well, why not just pull this piece next, the top shoulder belt, the old one? And that's because it's easier to do one kind of setup on it. Now, if you looked at the old one when I had it out, you're probably thinking, yeah, if you're looking at this angle here, you're probably thinking you want it like this, right? But that's not correct. The way that you want this to sit in here is like this, because this piece will shoot up back towards the anchors for the top. So this has to be back at that angle. And you can change that after the fact with an adjustment here. So you get this torqued into place, torqued to spec into place. And yep, made a mistake already. So sometimes it's good to refer to the instructions as you go for just the reason. forgot to put a washer on that. So we're going to back that out, retorque it. We'll do that off camera. Okay, one large washer. The instructions are incredibly clear about using their hardware and not reusing the old hardware. You can see, I mean, you want to throw something like that back in, risk your life. I mean, to each our own, but not me, man. No thank you. Set our Torxes. Okay, it's 20, and we're just up this a bit. Perfect. Okay, that's 30 there. Whew. All right, that is more better than it was. Okay, so now we get another one of the large bolts, and we had to seize that real quick. Put a smudge on that. Ooh, my God. It's just maybe. Yeah, anti-seize is the best. I use a Loctite Marine brand here. It's the LB8023 Marine grade anti-seize, and I used to own a boat, so I did a ton of marine work on it. Obviously, I mean, had to because it's a boat, and you know, real good product. This I've used it all over the Camaro. Love it. And you know, anywhere where you find things that stick, or things that are going to be at least on partially exposed to the elements like this, you definitely want to go that way. Oh my God, paint's just sloughing off this poor car. All right, moving on from those tiers. Alright, so I'm not doing a final torque on this. I'm just going to snug it up pretty good, which I think I just did. And then we'll, you know, make sure things go. Yeah, plenty of clearance there. Worked on the other side. Should work on this side. Okay, so I think that's snugged up. I'm going to go ahead and stop the camera, move you guys so you can see what I'm doing next on the inside. Oh, before we do that though, one quick pro tip that I learned on the far side. So as you go to work on the inside, you're going to have to pull this way over that way. And as much fun as that is to pull and pull and pull, you can't keep it pulled out because it's not supposed to do that. So we're going to take this little clip here, welding clip. We're going to put that on there to hold that extra slack out, and then that way I don't have to fight with it so much. All right, see you on the other side. And we're back. You get to watch me struggle into the car. All right. Well, now we're going to work on the other side, or the top. God, I can't wait to replace these back seat belts, these rears, but can't happen today. I just don't have the humans necessary to make the work go. All right. So first things first. Remember these plastic picks? Sure you do. All right. So the way that these work. These old seat belts had two clips up here, which pull out. And now these have just been flopping in the breeze because at some point, oh, look at that. Make sure you guys can see this. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it or not, actually. The lights doesn't seem too good. It says 1968 model 277. Seatbelt conforms to things and stuff, and it was Irving. Wonder if this is actually 49A67. Wonder if that's a date code. Alright, so these clips here, these covers, these things just sort of pop up. See, what you want to do here is do like this. Get underneath them, and boom. If your car is like mine, it's a Survivor and it's old, you're probably going to see these things snap. Do not despair. Life happens, and as it turns out, you actually get a whole extra one in the kit. So, which I didn't bring in the car. Darn it. Okay, no problem. So now, oh yeah, that's just lovely. A lot of decomposing. See, oh my God, these things were barely hand tight. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess you do the best you can with a screwdriver. That's why the Allen head bolts are far superior in this application. Okay, let's go and take that. And come on then, you devil. All right. Nothing should be this hard. Okay. All right. So now that's up. Yeah. So yeah, it's two pieces: the seat belt and the cover. Now, if you have to reuse your cover because you lose it or break the new one, you can do that, certainly. Yeah, this thing wasn't in the best of shape here. It's just kind of decomposed. Horrible. All right, so let me go ahead and I'm going to hop out here, go find the cover. Yep, looks that way. I'm going to have to hop out and find the cover. All right, so let's go ahead and have a look at this. So, like I said, we paid out that extra seatbelt stuff earlier. We did that with good reason, because we didn't want to go through a non-stop struggle session. So this part, you want to make sure that coming up from the reel is flat and flush, and you're not going to see it perfectly flush because of my ingenious clipping device. But you want to make sure it's like this, more or less, because this is the piece that you're going to be bringing up here. And if you don't get that right, then you're going to be all, continuously boankus. So yeah, so basically you just arrange that so it hangs in the way that you need, and that's backwards. Let's do that. There we go. And you can see with it this way, that it's straight-ish out of there, and that line continues. Get my fat hands out of the way. You can see that line continues that way as best it can, coming out of something that's not concentric. So to get that, this is our top. We're going to feed this through this way on the outside of the clip, and we're going to pull that over here. You have to kind of twist that a little bit, or pinch it to get it to go through, and you'll have to unpinch it, but you want it down as far as you can for the next fun part. And again, you can kind of hold that. So okay, so here we go. So now, 10-second pause here. So here we are. We're going to go ahead and get started on that. And the instructions call for small washers, which they provide 2 of, one on each bolt. And these are lock washers. They have little knurled parts on there. Kind of see that there. Holds it in a little bit better, I suppose. Double check we still got that the correct direction. Yep, looks good. Alright, so I suppose I could have brought a marker and marked the top for that in case I got interrupted in my work. That would have been easy. If I ever have to take these out again, I'm going to mark them as top. I always like to get them threads started and then come back and cinch them up when they're both in place. This is where it starts to get a little hairy, because at this point you've got to have the back holes lined up with the holes on there, and that's the top so it has to go together like this. And you know, I suppose you don't need a cover, but why leave parts off that are decorative and make the car look good? I mean, let's face it, decorative plastic pieces will give an old car like this at least, you know, 5 more points at a competition. Maybe $100,000 worth of restoration would give it 2 more points, but you know, little things like this, that's easy 5 points. Point number 1 is finding out that your old thread was cross-threaded. Fun. Okay. So now we're back to our 5/16 Allen head, and I'm just gonna, yeah, maybe it's not too bad. So, you know. Yeah, that's not. Okay, that's good there. Let's go ahead and cinch this up. And these are 12 to 18 pounds, and you can hit that pretty quick with your wrist. So I'm not going to bust the torque wrench out for this. Just get these very snug. Oh yeah, that's easy 12 to 18 right there. So certainly more than the apparently barely finger tight that was there before. Okay, so that's all straight right there. You can see that's going to look real good, I think, unless I got it backwards, which I think I did. Nope, that's correct. That'll go over the human. Yep, okay, good to go. And don't worry, you're all humans to me. All right, so now we take that out of there. And boom. So that angle is really important, and if you had to adjust it, you don't want the seatbelt rubbing like this. Here, let me see, change the angle here so you can see what I'm actually talking about. Boom. All right, let's get you down in here. Hopefully this shows. Scooching myself out the way a bit. So you want this to be nice and even so that when you pull on it, it's not rubbing on the top. And there's a little bit of adjustment we can do here to resolve that. So let's go ahead and knock that out real quick, because that's rubbing a bit and it's just going to make for a potentially uncomfortable experience. Now on the other side, I did have to do this as well. I had to turn this a tiny bit. Okay, like so. So that's it. Now we've got that in place and looks like it's running free. We'll give it a little more adjustment. Oh, that's way better. Okay, that's great. So now we got that. Now we'll go ahead and do our final torque on the bottom here. Okay, that's 20. And again, the rule on this was 24 to 30 to 45. There's a huge range. I'll try to put a link in the description. So we'll go ahead and try this. Let's bump it to 30. Okay. And just for good measure, we'll do 35 on this. I think that's going to be plenty. Okay, there we go. Now, that's it. That's it. Seatbelt's installed. But we'll go ahead and get you around the other side. Do a quick operation. I'll show you how they work. All right, well, now you can see from the other side how this looks once it's installed. And if you want, you can actually keep these cover pieces too. These are the factory like slip covers that go over here. You just have to push the belt buckle through there and then slide it down. It's not a big deal. I'll probably do that in the end just to make sure it looks okay. So now let's go ahead and do a quick fit check. You can see, I mean, it's not as clean looking as factory lap belts, but again, you don't end up eating anything up here and getting yourself killed. And by the way, I just feel like I have to say this. The danger from lap belts isn't just hitting stuff. When a lap belt constricts your lower body, it basically pushes your organs and stuff both directions. It's horrible. It's a horrible way to go. Oh, fun. Found bonus. Well, but it's a horrible way to get killed and maybe end up in the hospital. So this is better. All right, so this is with the seat, the bench seat that is, in the fully forward position. And yep, there we go. Okay, now you see how this is a little tight, and it's first use, so I don't expect it to be anything but tight. All right, because we set that up the way we did on the other side, just click this in, nice and easy, and that's it. Now we're ready to rock. Now, here again, this isn't as cool as like a modern car. People in the back seat will have to crawl over it a bit, but the folks at Morris Customs put a, I think there's a 15-inch loop on this, so it sticks out quite a ways, and it hangs in alignment with where you'd find a more modern car. And there you go. So that's it. All right. Oh, one last thing. So 68 Camaro. I'm gonna just reach. I'll just tell you. So the two clips that we saw for holding the seat belt and then the mount points in the back. The 67 Camaro had a mount point like right here, further up north of the pillar, north being that way, and the 68 and 69 don't have that option. Do not grab a pick and start picking away at your headliner trying to find that hole on a 68 or 69 Camaro. It just doesn't exist. So go for the mounting stuff that's sent with you. Follow the directions. You'll be super happy. I'm liking it so far. I hope and pray that none of us ever actually have to test out a seatbelt in real time. But if we do, this is a heck of a lot better way to go. There'll be another video on the rears. Hope you guys have a great day. Get out there, enjoy the end of summer, or whenever I post this video, enjoy whatever season it is. See ya.